One of the first things you'll realize when you buy the RD8 is there is nothing in the memory. So if I select a song and a pattern and then go step and press play, there is no sound coming out of this machine. It is completely empty of all sounds. So what we have to do is we have to put some sounds in, or we have to put some rhythms in. To test your unit is working, it's probably worthwhile going to the trigger, select an instrument and just make sure you get a sound. Okay, so there's a bass drum and there's a snare drum. Okay, so we know the unit is making some sounds, but there are no patterns stored, so we need to put some patterns in. So the way we put a pattern into the unit is we go to song, and I'll cover more on songs later, but for the time being we're going to select song space 1, which you do by pressing key 1 on the step pattern. We then go to pattern, so for song 1 this is going to be pattern 1, and then we go to step. Now we can start entering a pattern, okay? And I'm just going to do a really basic pattern, set of patterns here, just to show you how to get going with this thing. The first thing you need to do is you need to start the tempo running and select an appropriate tempo. So for this, I think we're going to select around about 110 BPMs, just something to get going. Still no sound coming out of this. The next thing we do is we need to, in order for it to latch the notes to the relevant steps, if you're going to do it in step program mode, which I am for this particular video, we then need to press the record key. So we have to put it into record mode. And then we need to put in a pattern. So for this one, I'm going to do that. Simple bass drum. Let's think about a tom here. Let's do one there. And then let's do one there. Let's put some open hat in there. Let's put some closed hat in there. And let's give it some accent, shall we? So there we have a basic pattern running. Now, here's the thing. You think you've recorded the pattern. The answer is you haven't. Okay, what you have to now do is you now have to save the pattern. So let's take that out of record mode. Let's stop the pattern. Let's press the save key. And I want to save the pattern for song 1. And I'm going to select that's the pattern I want to save. And I'm going to save it. Now when I go back and press play, okay, if I now leave that and I go song 2, pattern 1, there's nothing there. Stop that, go song 1, pattern 1. That's how you record the basic pattern. Okay, so we want to start a new song. So we go to song and we say we want to do song 2. Then we go to pattern and we say we want to do pattern 1. Then we go into step mode. Now theoretically, if I've done that correctly, there should be nothing here. There's nothing playing. Again, if I stop that just to make sure that we have some sounds there, if I go back to my bass drum, you can hear my bass drum when I hit the trigger. Okay, so we're going to now program something different. So here I'm just going to start and program in another step pattern. So if I go engage and record, and for this one, let's put some bass there, let's put some bass there, let's put some bass there, and let's put some bass there. Fairly fairly well known baseline there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put some, let's put some rim shots in, shall we? Like so. And then we need the hand clap just to finish this sort of kind of iconic. You all know what this tune is. Then we need some hi-hats in there, so we'll just do one there, one there, one there, and I think it's down there. Okay, Paul Hardcastle, 19, as everybody's probably picked up now. Okay, which was done, of course, on a classic 808, I think. I could be wrong with that. Anyway, so I've done that. Now I need to save the pattern. So I go pattern, and I want to save that position 1. So now I've saved pattern. Remember, you always have to go back and press the save key after you've hit what it is you want to save. Now, the thing about Paul Hardcastle is that the way this pattern was written on the original 808 was that there was an A and a B, and it alternated between the A and a B. So we have two ways of dealing with the A and the B. We can do one of two things. We can record a separate pattern. So if I go, okay, stop that. I want to do pattern 2. And there should be nothing in pattern 2 as there isn't anything in pattern 2. We go to step. And I can put the second part of that pattern in. So it's boom, 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 boom. And then it's what is it? That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And then hand claps are on the 5 and the 13, 14, 15. Of course, I do have to press record before I do all this, otherwise it won't save anything of what I'm typing in. So let's start again. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Now we've got to put the rim shot in. The rim shots are 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. That sounds right. Then we've got to put the hand claps in. The hand claps are 5, 13, 14, 15. Let's go back to the rim shots. There's rim shots there and there. And now let's put in the open hats, which are 1, 7, 9, 10, and the closed 1, 4, 7, 9, and 10. So if I now were to stop that and I go pattern, save pattern to save, and if I just going to turn that up in my monitor so I can hear it a bit louder. So now if I wanted to alternate between the 1 and the 2, I can do it manually. Very manual process, I might add. But I've got my AB pattern in there. Okay, so in my song at the moment, what I have is I have pattern 1 and pattern 2. And I can switch between pattern 1 and pattern 2 just by clicking on the step keys. that is going to be a pain unless you're DJing and you want to use it for something you're DJing with, where you want to choose when the pattern changes. But if you're doing something else, what you want is you want it to go A-B, just like the original 808 did. Now, there are a couple of ways you can do this, but one of the ways I'm going to show you how to do this is to extend the length of the bar. So we do that by effectively hitting length, go into step mode, and then we hit length, and we tell it we want to have 32 steps, and we select 32 steps. So I can select any length up to 32 notes in the second bar, so you can come up with funny time signatures. Now, if I play this, I get nothing in the second bar, but everything in the first bar. So now what I want to do is I now want to program up. That second bar. Okay, so I tell the unit I want to be in the second bar, like so. As you can see, no buttons are flashing. Here's the second bar. And I can then start programming up the second bar like, what is it? It's 8, isn't it? And what you should be able to hear is, I want to go into a rim shot, and it's bang, 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 14, 15, hand claps on 5, 13, open hi-hat, there. No, it's not right. That's right. Sorry, I'm talking to myself while I'm doing this. So I've now programmed up into my rhythm designer the A and the B as 2 separate bars. So I can now let that run. Now, of course, in order to save that, what I've now got to do is got to go into my pattern. I've got to say save pattern into position 1, save. That's now stored the pattern. Now, it's really important that you always save your work, because as soon as you switch this unit off, if you haven't saved your work, guess what? It will be gone. And hopefully that is the basics to get you started on programming the RD8. If you liked the content of the video you've just seen, please give it a thumbs up. It just helps the YouTube algorithm with its selection process. If you want to leave a comment, please feel free to do that as well. Down below somewhere should be the ability to do that. I do try to respond to all the comments that are raised on the channel. Sometimes it takes me a few weeks because of what I'm doing, and I'm getting more and more comments and questions raised on the channel, so it just takes sometimes a little bit of time to do a bit of research. If you want to be notified when I put more rants, mailbergs, and videos about this sort of legacy tech and even modern tech on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified by YouTube when stuff happens. I try to publish at least 2 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Until next time, bye-bye.